Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Biz Chicks TV. This is the place to be for tips, tools, and strategies to help you build a profitable business and that's fun to run. Today is Wednesday. I know you can't see me, but I'm here. I'm Francine, and then every Wednesday we have Coach Caren coming in talking to us how to bring profits in daily. So she is here. Terralina is traveling, but the show must go on. And so you're going to be really, really blessed and inspired and motivated. And hopefully you pick up a pen and paper and do something with what you're going to hear today. So without further ado, I will introduce to you, she's here every Wednesday, Miss Coach Caren, all the way from Toronto, Canada.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Coach Caren Fern and the founder of the Money Mindset Academy and soon to be Profits in Daily University. So, since Terry's traveling today, I'm sort of solo chit chatting to you about money and mindset because that's what we talk about here, right? That's what we talk about. And
Right.
every day, every Wednesday when I'm here, we start a topic and we go through it. And we are at the last quarter of the year. Could you believe it? The last quarter. Yes, guys. And this should be a planning time. This is what I said every year. Like, plan for the new year. What are you going to do in 2022? So, our topic going to be the last quarter. Yes, it's back. And we're talking about getting it planned out. And this is planning what you're going to do in your business, how you're going to grow your business, or how you're going to start a business. This is where you're at the moment. I don't want to forget the people who this is their beginning. This is their thinking about what am I going to do? Take the rest of the year and plan it out. Sign up for a program if it will help you move you forward. Whatever you need to do to get you going. If you're not good at managing money, sign up for my money management workshop so that we can get in there and help you manage your money well, so that you can do this because a business is an investment. Most people say you can start a business without money. So true, but you can't continue without money. That's what I like to say. But it's so much better if you have some money saved up, and nothing like planning it out and planning out where your budget is at, where you want to see it, all these wonderful things, so that when you start a business, you're not stressing out about money. Because when you start a business, especially online, and it feels like you don't need any money, then when you do need software, you're panicking. When you do need to get into a program, you're panicking. But if you're planning it out and you understand this is something you can do, then you're not sweating over it. I mean, let's go to simply the grocery store. Get into the grocery store with $300 these days. It's nothing much, but you get there and you decide I'm going to spend $300. But because you had planned to spend you're not panicking when you get to 250, 265. If you didn't plan and you just got to the grocery store and your prices keep going up and you look in your wallet and there's not enough, you look on your card, you know in your heart there's not enough in that saving account, checking account, what have you, you start thinking about your credit card. But if you paid it with your credit card and you didn't have the money 11 days later, you paid for your grocery plus some interest on it. Why would you want to do that to your heart and your body? I'm here every week to tell you how to make sure that you're paying attention to your money and not giving it away, because that's what you do every time you spend with your credit card and you can't pay it off in full in the 11 to 13 days that they give you. It's not a whole month. They make you think it's a whole month, but then interest creep on it if you don't watch out. So without any further ado, we're going to look at three things today. We're going to talk about what do I want for 2022.
May I interrupt for a second, Coach Caren?
Okay.
Well, I'm here, but I'm not on camera. So
she's getting ready to come on, guys.
I am not on camera, but I do want to say something about what you just talked about that little thing about the credit card. Mm-hmm. They got little sneaky things that they do that was to keep you in that little debt spiral situation. Yes. And that was really good. Caren pointed it out, and I don't want people to miss it. They don't give you 30 days.
Right.
And, a lot of people want to, I want to use my credit card to get my business started and blah, blah, blah. They don't give you 30 days.
They don't.
And so I'm looking forward to hearing about the planning and getting us together. So go continue on. I'm taking notes.
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing you want to really write this question down. What do you want for 2022? Write it down, not for whenever, for 2022, for the year that's coming up. What do I want? And then number two, how am I going to get it? Literally write the question down because you're asking yourself permission to go investigate how you're going to get it. And this is important. And then what are the goal dates? And so you need to have some dates because when you have that not emergency but that goal that you're working towards where you're knowing there's dates and time coming up, you're going to get it done. Remember in college, or even high school, and you've got a test coming up and they tell you your test is going to be Monday, you're studying the whole weekend because you want to do great on your test. Even if you're not a good tester, even if you're punishing in the specific subject, you're still going to put in some effort if you want to get some results. If you're a C student, then you're like working towards your C. Sometimes people don't even realize that C students work just as hard as an A student. And you don't recognize it because they're not getting an A, but that's their capacity of retaining and then producing. They're not dumb. It's not because they can't get an A, but maybe if they were in a situation where there's a project, they'll get an A. Or it's something that they're really fascinated about, they'll get A pluses plus. But if academic is not their strong suit, then they are at a C. But that doesn't mean they don't know the stuff. It just means that's where they work at. Or nobody has told them that they can do better or boost them or show them a way to study differently so that they can go great. Something I don't really talk a lot about, but I had taught grade one and two for like a year in my home country, Diana. And when I stepped in for a teacher, I remember my class was so ecstatic because everybody passed with a really good grade. If you were a C, you got to a B. If you were a B, you got to an A. And I know it's my teaching style then. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was young and didn't know that is my teaching style. But little kids want you to get down on the ground and be there, and you really want to get into knowing them. I know it's not daycare, but when you got a teacher who really wants to see that silly painting that you did, even though it has nothing to do with math, you are telling the child that you care about the drawing of their mom or dad or something that they're trying to express to you. And when you do that, then it's easy to teach them 1 and 1 is 2, and math. They're interested because you were interested in what they're bringing to the table, or to tell you what they eat for the day. You'll be surprised where younger kids will come and form a conversation if they see that you're an open teacher and you're teaching them what you want to teach them because you had given them what they wanted. So now they're ready to really take in, and that's no difference in the business world. When we don't give people what they want, we could never get to what their needs are. And I had to learn that too, because adults is a little different. They're more guarded. There's more doors up and windows and shields because of life. Nobody gets this way without really going through some hardship. And sometimes when you're in hardship, you don't know how to soften up. And I don't mean so that people can walk on you. You can be sturdy, you can be very stern, but you can still be soft and open because you've chosen to be that way. And that's a choice thing. I knew I had to choose it. I could have been very hard because my life was very, extremely hard. But one of the things I decided to do when I started looking around and seeing how hard and harsh people behave, they don't have a lot of joy in their lives. And I love joy. And they don't have a lot of happiness because they're holding on to all the hard pieces. And Fran, when you hold on to all those hard pieces, you guys are not seeing Fran, but she's right here. So I'm talking to somebody, I swear.
I'm right here.
And when you hold on to them, it's hard for you to have happiness and enjoyment because you're suspect of everybody and everything that they want from you. You can't really get to just live that freedom life. That you don't have to wait to have enough money to be free. You just have to decide it in your mind and allow the blessings to walk its way into your life. I'll take a sip of water here. All righty. So the first thing that I'll talk about is, what do I want for 2022? That's a question only you can answer. But let me tell you, last year I spoke on it, and I'm going to speak on it again this year. if you would plan yourself two budgets, one for business and one for personal, and make it a yearly budget. I said it the year before in 2019. I said it again in 2020. So by now, if you were doing budgets and if you listen to the BizChicks channel, you'll know that I talk about yearly budgets because it just helps you to see things in long term. Now you're going to still check your budget monthly, weekly, daily. If you're at that place right now, and getting to daily is hard because if you're not having enough money in there, it's scary. But I want you to do it so you get over the scare. So you plan the whole year out and you check into making sure that you have the money to fit in for your monthly, your bi-weekly, weekly. But I encourage everybody to look at your budget every single day. Look at your bank account every day, especially when it has nothing inside. Yeah, I know it's a zero. Why am I looking at it, coach? Because it'll give you ideas. You start feeling different about money. You start looking at bank account not like a horror story. There's nothing inside. It changes over time, but you got to start doing it. And you want to have these noticed for yourself, written down. You don't have to have an app, but you could have one. But if you have nothing right now other than pen and paper, get it down. Go to Google Sheets, put it in there. Look at your bank account, write your budget up, check it out. And that should have, your debt repayment, your tie-ins, your savings, whatever goal you're saving towards, and all that great stuff. For business, all your business expenses, all your business expenses that you haven't paid for yet, but you're working towards. And so you have that number there talking about it, and you're looking at it, and you're encouraging yourself on a regular basis to reach that goal, whatever that goal is. And you have those set up this year to acquire them next year. And let me tell you, sometimes you might not even acquire the whole thing, and that's okay. It's because you start is what is important. That's the important part. You start it, you write it down, you typed it up, and now you've got a place to go to. So when those sneaky little liars come up and tell you anything, you're like, I paid off that first credit card. Maybe it had $500 on it. I don't know. But it's paid off. So you got representation. So when it pop in your head, you're like, you lied. I paid off $500. The next bill is, maybe $1,000, whatever that is, so that you could see to yourself, you're paying it down. You've set it up. You're paying down your debt. You're working towards growing your company. Or maybe you're now starting out, you're trying to figure out the numbers that's needed, but it's there. You've investigated, you research. And so all that in the planning of what it is you want to see when this time of the year come, in 2022, that you've accomplished some goals. I want you to make sure that when you accomplish those goals, you've got plans to enjoy it, celebrate, I don't care if you can't dance, put on some music and twirl around, buy yourself a bunch of flowers, watch a special movie. And even if you have a family, cook dinner just for yourself. Be a little selfish. Have a glass of wine or water, whatever you need, and just enjoy that movie on your own and enjoy you. And not because you don't care about the other people, but I want this to be just about you. It has to be, because when you're filled up, you can fill other people up. You can't fill them up if you're empty. So look after you. If you're not a movie buff like I, find something that you love to do, even if it's fixing a puzzle or reading a book that you meant to read. But you sit yourself there and you got your wine, you got your dinner, and you're just enjoying your company. Yourself, filling you up and making sure that you know that you're important to you. And here's the other thing, I want you to dress up to do it. I don't want you to just sit in your pajamas. I want you to get dressed like you were meeting somebody, because you're meeting you and you're enjoying you. And plan those things. You might want to leave that one for bigger things, but the immediate is buying yourself flowers, dancing around, or just getting yourself, if you can buy the flowers. And I know sometimes things are really tight and flowers is the last thing you want to buy. Let me tell you, I know it's beginning to be fall, so not a lot of things you might be able to do, but you could have picked wildflowers and stick them in a vase if you couldn't buy flowers. You're still giving yourself something that is pretty and nice to look at. It changes your mood. It really does change your mood. that is also part of, how am I going to get it?
You know what? I like what you said about doing something for you, sitting down, um, having a nice meal, dressing up for the cake. Dress up for you.
Hmm.
You don't need to dress up every time for somebody else. Dress up for you. Put on your, what they used to call glad rags. Do your hair. Put on your makeup and enjoy you. Big
Exactly.
part, a big part of doing business.
Yes. Yes. It really is. It really is. And you ask the second one is ask yourself the question, how am I going to get it? How am I going to get there? And truly answer it. This is a lot of questions so you can answer for yourself. How am I going to get there? And don't try to get all the answer one time because it never does come that way. Just be mentally prepared for when it presents itself. So wherever you're at, if you're starting to answer these questions, make sure you have a little notebook, walk around with it in your purse, have it on your desk if you work from home like I do. Have it somewhere and just place that idea down. And then when you get some time, you add it to your planning, however you're planning. I love planning in a simple, I'll show you, in a simple, one of these simple exercise books, right? They're called, yeah, exercise books. And I will plan out, I'll open it up and do a lot of planning. And then I'll take it from there and then I'll establish it in bigger sheets of paper. Before I get on the computer, I rarely plan it out. It's almost like writing a book and writing all the chapters and stuff. So I like to go planning. That's why I like to start in October. So just give me a lot of time to go back, shift things, move things around, move ideas, see what I want to do. I do all that planning, and next to that planning, I add finances. I must put finances there because I want to know that the stuff that I'm doing is going to be rewarding me with my monies. I run a business, so I have to see that. That really lets me know how many clients I need to coach per year. It let me know what my school needs so that financially it's working well. Also, the software I got to pay for, expense versus profits, the kind of revenue that needs to come in. I talk about this, I think, a couple months ago, where I talk about revenue versus profitability. And revenue is just the money you bring in. It's not your profit yet. You haven't been paid yet. It's just the revenue. And so all those things I'm looking at and moving around. And that's why it takes me a while. So I plan the whole thing out, but I go back in and I'm looking to see, how am I going to get there? Like what are the steps? So now I have the money out. I know what I need to reach, but what are the things I have to do? Like how many posts I need to make? And initially it feels scary and a lot, but the people who are making a lot of money did a lot. Let me tell you, in the beginning, you work a lot. You do a lot of work. And this seems scary to people, but it's important to build that foundation. Imagine somebody's building a house and they didn't do a good foundation. Your house is not going to hold up. So your business is the same. You're building a lot of foundational pieces, and you're all in my coaching signature. I says amaze yourself daily, and I'll tell you why. Because you will amaze you when you look back and see how much experience and how many things you have done already, that you just need to take it now and add it to your plan. And you've done a ton of things already. I don't care if even if you're in your 20s, you've done and faced a lot of stuff, and you're going to take that same stuff and you're going to add it to achieving what you want, because you're going to get it. And how you're going to get it is by looking at your past, looking at all the great things you've done. Yes, a lot of crap happened, but you've done so many great things. I'm a YouTube, I love YouTube. So I watch a lot of YouTube. And really, a lot of people is just giving us all the things they do in their lives and showing us how it worked for them and how sometimes it did not work. And so those are the things you bring into the table. Those are the things you put into your business. And I don't care if you're making earrings. If you're making earrings, you're still putting in your life experience into your earring. You have learned how you like earring to hang on your ear, and you are modeling your earring business according to how you feel in your earring. So that's what you're putting in. Now, social media and selling is the same thing. You're going to take parts of you and you're going to put into it so people can connect with you. And so that's part of you planning and getting you there. That's how you get to write your content. That's how people are going to, feel some kind of feeling towards you. That's how I watch YouTube channels. The people, some people delivery, some tutorials. It's not necessarily because of if they're making money in their business or not. It's really about me connecting with them. And I watch a couple of their videos to see where they're going, their storyline. Some is all over the place, but I still love the people, so I'll still watch them. Sometimes just for a good laugh, I learned something, and that's what you want. While you're nurturing your potential clients, but you really, really want to have a place to go so that every Monday, every Tuesday, you're not hopping in your office and I don't know what I'm going to do today. No, you just go look at your chart and you know what needs to get done, which leads me right into what are your goal dates? What are your goal dates? What do I want to see happen? If you're building a website, for example, or somebody's building for you and they said 8 weeks, give yourself 3 months. Allow an extra 4 weeks for different things happening back and forth, maybe even 2 months, maybe even double it, because we're always wanting things to happen so quickly when the truth is it takes time. It really takes time. So set those realistic goal dates.
Wow.
And when you set those goal dates, don't be hard on yourself if you don't get there, but make sure you're doing everything in your power to get there. So this is not a cop out. This is just set realistic dates. So if you are looking after plants, and I'm going into a lot of areas of things I do for myself, and I said every Sunday I'm going to look after my plants, and I noticed that it takes me 2 to 3 hours versus the hour I thought it was going to take me, and then I'm giving myself those 2 to 3 hours, and I'm looking after my plants, I'm talking with them, I'm turning over the soil, I'm clipping leaves, I'm moving them around, I'm changing the water, I'm washing the thing that's holding them because my plants is getting automatic feel. I learned something with them that helps me out during the week, but on Sunday it takes a bunch of time, and I stop rushing on them. I just take my time. If you want to get anything done quickly, take your time.
Oh, that's a tweet. That's a tweet, Coach Caren. If you want to get anything done quickly, take your time. I need to write that down.
Thank you. It goes so quickly. I learned that when I start training people to clean. Everybody talk about cleaning quickly, but the people who clean really quickly is because they have taken their time, they've learned the technique, and they understand what needs to get done, how it needs to get done. And they'll get into a room and they'll do a survey and they'll say, I'll start here. Yeah, we know left to right, top to bottom. But they're looking at things and they're investigating and they're moving around. And to the naked eye, it looked like they're wasting time, especially if an owner is home and just looking around instead of just starting to clean. But the person is evaluating the room. They're making sure that things should be dusted or it's too much dust. Where should we start? Should we know we got to start high, but we still want to know, is it a double dusting scenario instead of just come in and dust and the dust fly everywhere? Or should I just come in and sweep, but then I saw the cobweb and I'm taking the cobweb down? You'll be surprised how much steps you've missed or take more time with than if you came in and surveyed the room. And that's what we really have to see in our business. What does our business really need? Am I at a stage where I'm doing lead generation? So am I going to spend the first quarter of 2022 just building my lead generation? I might have things to sell, but they're going to have to go on the back burner. And that might mean I need to take a part-time job, or it means that I have to get something to do that I've been doing before, and I got to stick a little longer with it because that's bringing my immediate money. And Fran knew I talked about this before, my angel investor. So I am really starting to, and if you haven't, you better start enjoying your angel investor. That's your job. Get in there, whatever you do, quit complaining about it and do the work. Do the work diligently, not 120%, just 100% because that's all you have. Get in there and do the work. Stop complaining, stop whining, just do the work. If something truly bothers you, instead of complaining, look at the thing and say, I really don't like what's happening here. I'd address it with the owner or find a way for you to resolve it in your heart. And Truly, talking with the owner is great, but you have to resolve it in your heart. And that's by going to God and praying about it and releasing it. That is the main way of doing it, releasing it. So it has nothing to do with the owner or your supervisor when you go to talk with him or her, and then it don't come across the wrong way. And you'll be surprised how things change. I used to work at a salon and I was braiding hair and I was a barber also. And I finally I only lasted 2 weeks because the first week I knew I should have left, but I loved the clientele. But the owner didn't know to run a business. And I literally went to her and had the conversation. Now, she offered me the position of running her business because I seemed to know how to run a business, but she didn't offer up more finances. And I had to look at my time. I couldn't give her 10 hours a day on the salary she wanted to pay because I made that, no lie, in a day what she wanted to pay for a week. And I wasn't, I was upfront with her. I said, I make that in a day. There's just no way. But I'll stay on until you get somebody to really hop in and do what you need to do. You know,
Man,
that's how we looked after that. But
wow. I hope all of you are taking some really good notes because Coach Caren is dropping nuggets and about the end of the year 2021, getting you prepared for 2022. She asking you to ask the question, what do I want for 2022? How will I get it? And then what are your goal dates? I'm like, oh snap, okay, when do you want to see these things happening? And she mentioned about not doing everything. Maybe you're only going to work on one thing, which is your lead generation. And you said that if I'm working on lead generation, sales are going to have to go. You're not going to be doing sales right now. So you might need to have a part-time job. You might need to connect with your angel investor to have funds coming in while you're building your lead generation. A lot of people don't tell you the things that Coach Caren is telling you. A lot of people tell you, get my course and you're going to be rich tomorrow. That's not happening. It requires WORK work. And the tweet I'm going to put out today, if you want to get anything done quickly, take your time. It's going to take time for all of these things that it's going to take time. Wow.
bottom line, nobody wants to hear it's going to take time, self included when I first came online. Because how everybody made it seems like I was so slow. I felt so slow. Sometimes I still feel slow, but it's okay. I know why. But I felt so slow because I'm thinking it should have been done. But the truth is, anybody's doing it has been doing it. So now it looks quickly.
Wow. It's eventually. It is not like suddenly. People
No.
want suddenly, but it's always eventually.
Eventually, I like that. It's really eventually like that. It is truly eventually.
Right. I was like, oh, you mean you got to work?
Yeah.
That means I got to put on some boots and
Yes,
some.
you gotta go do it. Don't be upset with people who gotta go to work. They're working towards what they're working towards. Life is happening. We plan a lot of things, but a lot of things don't work out. And we got to give room for those things, and whatever you're planning for. If you're truly new in business, I want you to really take these 3 months and just do work. I talked in my group last week, and I'm continuing that conversation about studying. Really understand when you take a program online, you have to study. It's not take a course and done. It's a study, which means you're studying the material that myself or other teachers are teaching you. And then you take it and put it into practice and you see the results. You don't get the results by not studying and doing. Studying and doing, which means you study it and then you apply it. So if you took a Canva course, my programs have Canva course in there. So if you took a Canva course, but you just looked at my videos and my tutorials, but you didn't actually go into Canva and create what I was teaching you to create, you haven't learned anything. So you didn't study and then you didn't apply it. So now you say, well, I didn't learn anything in that Canva course that coach taught, but that's because you did nothing. And if you didn't do it right, initially it's okay, but you go back and practice until you get it right. And then you've learned a skill that now you get to take. And that's important. Canva is not a fly-by-night, or like the PicMonkey, even if you're into PicMonkey. You really learn something that you get to use on social media to connect with your clients. So talked about today.
Look, this was really good. And we got Mark Ward in the house making jokes. And I'm like, wow. I'm putting this up over on the circle too, just so we have it. But Mark Ward is there. We have Cecilia in the house and Dr. Tachi.
Hi, Tachi.
And Mark said, my rise to mediocrity has been slow.
Mark, he's so fun.
He always has jokes. It's like our resident comedian.
He's a jokester. Carlos.
Yeah. So any final things you want to leave with the audience, and as always, how they can reach out to you and connect with you so they can get what they need done.
Exactly. Well, today we covered what do you want for 2022, how I'm going to get it. You need to ask the question and answer it. And what are my goal dates? Set those goals and go after it as though your life depends on it, because it does. Make sure you can find me everywhere at Profits in Daily. If you're not already in there, you should join my Profits in Daily group. And if you want to book 30 minutes with me, you can do so. It's on my Facebook page. There's a link in there, and I think it's also on my group, but it's also on my regular page. So either way, you can go in there and get it. On my personal page, there's a link in there that you can click, and we can chat to get you up and going wherever you're looking to be at, so that you can reach those goals. You can reach those goals.
Thank you.
That's what I have for you for today, guys.
Yay. Thank you, Coach Caren.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and we're going to keep stressing the importance of making sure that your people are you have a place, even if you're writing down their names, their emails, and their phone numbers somewhere. Keep it, because as you know, day before yesterday, Facebook went down, and if all of your stuff is over there, that's not going to be a good look. So TJ has been telling us, a multitude of people have been telling us, make sure that you have your list of people, just for things of that nature. We couldn't connect with a whole bunch of people on Facebook, but we still had YouTube. So we want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But we still want you to be a part of what we're doing. And Coach Caren comes to us every Wednesday with nuggets like these. Go back over them and actually do the exercises, because we put out a lot of information, but if we ever do the information, it's just information going in, and we're pretty much wasting time. Not us wasting time, but other people. If you're not doing it, you're wasting your time by not doing it. And you could be a lot further ahead just by doing at least one thing that you've heard today. Exactly. I got one thing. What would I do? What am I going to do in 2022? We need to think about it now, because 2022 is coming up in a couple of months. Wow. All right. That's all I got. Coach Caren, thank you.
You're welcome.
We will see everybody tomorrow with Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. I believe Terry will be back. Terry is traveling today. That's why I'm here. And we're going to have some fun. And Friday, I know we're going to have a lot to talk about.
You guys going to be killing it on Facebook stuff.
Hey. where did you go if Facebook, we're going to talk about it on Friday, but what did you do when Facebook went down? And everything that was connected to Facebook also went down.
Yes. Crazy.
It was, yeah. So,
Yeah,
okay.
that's crazy. Don't forget to go to the front of your own line, guys.
Yay. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.